why does your engine burn oil? There are two main reasons for this, but before I name them, let's think of how oil can get into the combustion chamber. Because burning of oil, it actually means that the oil in your engine gets into the combustion chamber and it's burned together with the fuel. So how is oil sealed from the combustion chamber in the engine? There are two ways for this. First of all, in your pistons there are two sets of rings. While the upper ring on the piston is responsible for keeping the compression in the cylinders of your engine, the lower ring is responsible for keeping the oil away from the combustion chamber. So the oil rings on your pistons are the reason one how the oil can get into the combustion chamber. Then there is the second way for oil to get there. These are valve seals. So valves are located in your head and they have so-called valve seals. Valve seals are just rubber parts or plastic parts that keep oil away from the combustion chamber in the upper part of your engine. So the valves should be lubricated, but this lubrication should be only in the base of this valve, and to keep this oil away from getting into the working part of the valve, there are valve seals. These valve seals in a new engine, they will be flexible, they will be soft, and when they get hard, it's quite natural for the engine to start burning some oil. As you see, when the engine works, it's inevitable that these parts will have some wear and tear. So when the engine has like 100,000 miles on it, it's almost impossible for this engine to not burn any oil at all. The piston rings and the valve seals will have some problems and they will have some leaks. Maybe it's just one little drop of oil in an hour, but it all goes to certain consumption. And maybe you will add about a quart or a liter of oil every 10,000 miles. And it's actually okay. The problem starts when you start adding a liter of oil every 1,000 miles or every 500 miles. This means that the engine needs help. Let's list the problems that affect the lifespan of your piston rings. First of all, it's overheating. When the engine overheats, the block may change its shape a little and these rings get extensive wear. Also, it's bad oil. So if the oil is of the wrong viscosity, if the oil is in bad condition, it's dirty, it's very likely that the rings will wear faster because the cylinders will not be lubricated properly. And of course, the third thing is the dry work of the engine. If the engine is not lubricated because there is no oil, the oil pressure is low, there is a high chance that your piston rings will be just dead very, very soon. So let's list the problems that can kill your valve seals. First of all, it's the wrong type of oil. If the oil is bad, thick, it will be killing your valves. And the second factor is the broken valve. So the valve may change its shape like a millimeter or something, and it will kill the valve seal immediately. So the valve seal will be broken and it will start leaking oil directly into the combustion chamber. Now, why the oil consumption is so bad? Why everyone is saying that you should repair this engine or replace this engine when you have the oil consumption? Well, yes, it's really bad because first of all, it can lead to low oil level. And when the level of oil is low and you don't check this level every day, the engine consumes the oil and makes it even lower, and at some point there will be a problem that the pressure of oil will fall and your engine will work dry. When the engine works dry, it means the death of the engine any minute. Then there is the second problem in oil consumption. You may not pass the emission test. If your car consumes oil, the emission test will have some problems with the soot level in the emissions, and you will most likely not pass this test and your car will just be illegal on the road. And there is the third thing. So the soot from the oil which is burned will contaminate your engine. But the worst thing it can do, it will contaminate the catalytic converter, and the catalytic converter will eventually die. And you know, it costs like more than $1,000 to replace your catalytic converter. So there are 3 ways how you can prevent your car from consuming a lot of oil too soon. First of all, avoid overheating your engine. This is the #1 reason why engines fail in modern cars. Overheating is the start of the death for your engine. Then the second thing is use oil of the needed viscosity. Better use OEM oil, so the oil that the manufacturer recommends for your car. This will save your engine from any unexpected things that are connected with the oil quality, oil viscosity, and all the other factors that are important for any modern engine. And the third thing is not ignoring the consumption of oil. If your engine starts consuming oil, one thing you can do, you can find a good mechanic and ask this mechanic what's going on. So after some inspections, the professional mechanic will tell you that, for example, these are valve seals and you can invest $500-600 to replace them, or these are piston rings and you will need to tear this engine apart and it will cost you much more than $1,000 or $2,000, depending on the engine, of course. But at least you will know the problem and you will find a solution to address this issue, or to drive your engine till it dies and to replace it with the new one.